Welcome to the Canon on the Boomer Bust channel. I'm your host Terry, and today doing a Canon Quick Shot, a quick review of a non-comic book superhero movie. I'm your host Terry, and today doing Queen and Slim, starring Daniel Kaluuya. Kaluuya. Yeah. So, Queen and Slim also brings a newcomer to the screen, Jodie Turner-Smith, and co-lead with Daniel Kaluuya, and they play a couple that or not a couple, excuse me, but two people that go on the first date. Didn't go well, but on the way home, they are stopped by a cop and things ensue. They end up killing them and they go on a run. So, highly anticipated movie, again, as we're in Oscar season. One that I was very excited to see. I had never really heard anything about it until the trailer, but the trailer completely captivated me. And so, there's this idea of, the Black Bonnie and Clyde that a lot of people are talking about, but then that is kind of the starting point of the narrative where it's like, well, let's look at this different in the different circumstances. It's a couple that is looked at like Bonnie and Clyde, but only because of perceptions of the outside world, not because of what they actually do or what they actually think. And so that kind of sets up the whole premise of this movie, where you see a movie that is about two people and their journey. It's not really about anybody else. They're supporting characters, but it's all interaction with those two. And so it's very tightly focused, but it touches on a number of issues without going deep into them. But it does bring up a number of things. So there's never any direct dialogue. There's never any direct reference exactly to a lot of these issues. But just by the way the story unfolds, to me, there's a lot of things that you can touch on and recognize if you're from the culture, from the community. There's a lot of messages. And I wouldn't even say messages. There's just a lot of topics. And that's one thing that I like about the movie, is that it doesn't preach to you. It doesn't tell you like, obviously this is that. There is definitely this idea of police brutality, of police abusing their power. There's definitely the racial tension, but even with that, it's like the movie still shows you a decent amount of both sides where you could look at it differently. But even inside of that, the movie is a fairy tale to me there. And I say that because there's some things that just aren't realistic that happen. I'm just like, it wouldn't go down like that. But you're watching it from these characters' eyes. And so, you see it in the trailer. If you watch the trailers, there's some people that support them. And so they're like, okay, we're done. We're wrong. We're evil. But then as they go through this journey, they start to realize how many people are actually behind them, and they are being immortalized whether they want to or not. And so, you just go through this journey where they don't really like each other at first, and now they're in a terrible situation, but they out of necessity have to learn to live with each other and work with each other. And that kind of makes its own thing. But then also, as they see the outside world, they start seeing how their actions affect people. And so I loved it. I mean, I think there's issues of social media. There's definitely issues of police brutality. There's issues of fanatics and people that take things too far. There's issues of the media lying about things. There's a lot of different issues that kind of, again, are touched upon. And I like a movie that has subtlety. I don't like a movie that skates completely over things, but I do like a movie that doesn't have to tell you exactly what's happening. And so there is subtlety to the movie, and I think that's hard to get, especially with a first-time feature film director, first-time feature film screenwriter. But it is unapologetically African American, and there's a lot of people that have issue that the two people aren't African American. They're actually both British actors. I forgot Daniel Kaluuya is a British actor, but people that they have a lot of problems. That some people have a problem with the way the movie doesn't exactly tackle the issue. And that's my whole thing. That's not what this movie is. That some people with those expectations, you got to do your best to throw the expectations out at the door and just take the movie they're giving you. This isn't a power to the people, Black Power, let's talk about the issues type movie. This is essentially a love story in the middle of that. And so you just got to take that how it is. Whereas you look at a movie last year, what was that movie by Spike Lee and the Ku Klux Klan? Oh, Black Klansman. That was a very much in your face, let's talk about the issues movie. This is a very much different movie telling its own story, but it's in the setting of these issues. And so you just got to be able to look at that and take that for what it's worth. So overall, I enjoyed the movie a lot. I mean, I had a strong reaction to some scenes, especially the first act is very strong to me. It gets right into the movie. I had a strong reaction to the end of the movie as well. Not what I would have done, but I still had a good reaction. I think it was executed well, even though I didn't really agree with what they did. And then overall, I just think it was well crafted, very atmospheric, puts you in the atmosphere of what's going on. And there's some things I definitely complain about and not exactly a fond of, but overall, I really loved it. So I'm gonna give it 93%. That's what I'm settling at, A minus. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So anyway, go to the comment section. Let me know if you've seen Queen and Slim. What'd you think? Or if you want to go see it, what are you looking for? Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for listening.